When we refer to physical systems, if there's any engineers or mechanics in the crowd here, we understand the capacity for physical systems. You're talking about how much can it hold, how much can it carry. If you talk about the capacity of a bucket, you're talking about how much water can you put into it before it spills over the edge. The capacity of a bridge, how much weight can travel across it before it collapses. And if you're talking about the capacity of an electrical circuit, how much current can it carry before blowing a fuse or burning out components? Don't do that at home. These are trained professionals. So when we refer to capacity in the context of emotional healing, we're referring to the capacity of the person's biological brain, non-biological mind, and spirit. How much biological, psychological, and spiritual intensity can a person handle before some part of his combined brain-mind-spirit system blows a fuse and causes the person to disconnect in some way? Capacity limitations of the light bulb goes on. Now, here's a really important point about capacity. Identifying and resolving other clutter and blockages won't fix the problem if the person doesn't have enough capacity to stay connected all the way through the memories. And a good analogy would be a physical task with the questions of strength versus willingness. If I'm strong enough to push my neighbor's car out of the snowbank, but I'm choosing not to because I'm afraid of getting wet, I'm angry at the neighbor because he put trash on my lawn, I have a vow never to push cars out of snowbanks, whatever. If I'm choosing not to deal with a blockage, I become willing and choose to help, I'll be able to. On the other hand, if I simply don't have the physical strength, then addressing these other issues will not get my neighbor's car out of the snowbank. I can let go of my vows, I can get rid of my bitterness, you can get all that other stuff out of the way, I can be completely willing to, I can choose to, but if I don't have the strength, the car is still in the snowbank. Now, back to our stuck. As the diagram in this slide illustrates, Jesus has infinite capacity. It seems that if a person can perceive the Lord's presence and let him be with her, then capacity problems resolve and the healing process can move forward. Now, I had seen that happen. As this is all kind of coming together, we began to formulate what we now call Emmanuel interventions, which are specific, focused, systematic interventions with the goal of helping the person receiving ministry to perceive the Lord's presence, connect with him, receive from him, and be with him. In part 5, we're going to come back. Most of the time, these Emmanuel interventions have been successful. And in every situation where these Emmanuel interventions worked, and the person was able to adequately perceive the Lord's presence, was able to allow him to come close, was able to receive from him, and was able to be with him, capacity problems at that particular point in the process seemed to resolve. And the person was able to take the next step forward. Join us in Winnipeg, Manitoba to learn about brain science, psychological trauma, and an approach to emotional healing organized around the living presence of Jesus.